Did you recently take a PTE test and scored superior in all the modules except for the speaking module? Or perhaps you are preparing yourself at home and you are not sure why you are not feeling confident in your PTE speaking module. It may be because of one question type only, and that's describe image. Describe image is the question type that can make or break your PTE speaking module. Good day everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Rashid from Ace Language. If you are preparing for the PTE exam, you have probably come across the describe image task in this speaking module. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to tackle this part and share some tips to help you nail this question type on test day. So let's first focus on what is describe image. Describe image is the task in the speaking exam or speaking module that requires you to look at a picture, graph, chart, or diagram and speak about it for up to 40 seconds. It tests your ability to organize your thoughts, use appropriate vocabulary, and structure your response clearly and fluently. During the describe image section, you will typically be presented with 5 or 6 images to describe in the test. For each image, you will get 25 seconds to prepare your answer before the microphone opens. Then, you will have up to 40 seconds to speak and deliver your response. It's important to manage your time effectively and efficiently and stay within these time limits to maximize your score. Describe image question type only contributes to speaking and it contributes massively by 31.3%. Now, let's talk about how your describe image responses are marked. The marking criteria focus on three areas: content, pronunciation, and fluency. The AI will first score your response and look for how well you describe the main points of the image, how clearly you speak, and most importantly, how smooth is your delivery. Each describe image will have 16 points, 6 for content and 5 each for fluency and pronunciation. After the 7th of August changes, there has been an added element in the describe image scoring, and that is human evaluation. Humans will now check your content only and ensure you are not using any generic template. If you do, and if your answer is totally non-relevant to the topic, you'll get a direct 0 in describe image. To maximize your score, focus on giving a clear introduction, describe as much key details as possible, and wrap it up with a concise conclusion. Avoid relying on templates. Demonstrate your ability to interpret and speak about each new image in your own words. As you now know that you cannot use template, you should rather be ready with your own flexible structure. It's better to create your own. To create your own, follow certain guidelines. And that's what I'll provide you. First of all, always start with an introduction. This is the sentence where you will simply introduce the topic. You can collect the information about the name of the topic from the header of the question. For example, in this image, the title is Americans' Activities in Average Workday. So I can start by saying the image is about Americans' activities in average workday. Simple, right? This is how you do your introduction. In the next sentence, I recommend using some sort of metrics which is used in the image along with some other information like their different names and levels. In this sentence, I do not recommend any description of highest or lowest or simply the listing of all the names. I will simply use a few of the labels or names or data points and the matrix. For example, in this image, I will say like this. This image shows information in several categories such as working and commuting, sleeping, eating and drinking, and so on in number of hours. Another simple sentence, right? In the next sentence, I recommend using the most significant information. It can be highest, it can be lowest, or it can be mixed of both if there are any numbers available. It can be color that you think is important. This is where students get it wrong and struggle. They think the piece of information they provide must be factually accurate or important. But that is not the case. Whatever you say is the most important information, is the important one. Remember that. That's why I use more neutral words in the sentence rather than highest or lowest. Another important point to mention in this sentence is the data itself. If number is available, please include the number in your answer. If number is not there, use any available quality for that information. In this image, I will say something like this. So, one of the most significant pieces of information in this image is the time spent of working and commuting, which is 9 hours and 12 minutes. You can see how I avoided using highest or lowest. This flexibility of vocabulary choice allows me to use this structure in various types of images. Now come to conclusion. Bear in mind that conclusion is very important and you should not miss it out. Start the conclusion with a concluding joiner, such as in conclusion, to conclude, or to sum up. In conclusion, do not worry about really summarizing the whole image. I generally use any two pieces of information and simply state their number or quality or some other data point. I use any two data points and compare them. For example, in this image, I can say, in conclusion, it is clear that Americans engage in few other activities on their average workday, like sleeping and leisure, and social media, where they spend 6 hours 40 minutes and 4 hours 32 minutes, respectively. Simple, no complication. I hope I made myself quite clear. When you deliver your answer, don't forget two other crucial marking criteria. They are fluency and pronunciation. Make sure that you deliver a smooth speech, that speech is continuous, and it is not delivered word by word, that is, disconnected speech. You also need to ensure that your pronunciation is clear and you stress the key points or keywords. Make sure that you speak for around 30 to 35 seconds and you submit your answer right after you complete. Your answer you should not wait for the time to finish. Let's now practice a question or two together before we wrap it up. Let's look at this image. The image is about number of visitors to Australia between January 2019 to 2020. This image shows information in categories of countries such as China, New Zealand, UK, and so on. So, one of the most significant pieces of information in this image is the fluctuation in the number of Chinese visitors, which were over 50,000 in 2019 and around 45,000 in 2020. In conclusion, it is clear that number of tourists from all other countries like New Zealand, US and India declined from 2019 to 2020, whereas that number rose from the UK. Simple and easy, right? Let's try the next one. This image is about activities of students after leaving college for students with a first degree and a postgraduate degree. This image shows several information in categories such as full-time employment, part-time employment, unemployed, and so on. So, one of the most significant pieces of information in this image, the percentage of students in full-time employment after postgraduate degree, which is 67%. In conclusion, it is clear that percentage of unemployed students are low with both first degree and postgraduate degree. Done. Very simple. You can see the strategy I followed here. As I had to address two pie charts, I just focused on one as I had a very little time to address both. Let's now try a random image which a lot of students find challenging. Our strategy remains same. An introductory sentence will be followed by data labels and then most significant information. The answer will always end with a conclusion. In this type of image, numbers are quite often missing. So, we better rely on other qualities of the information we plan to describe during our answer. This image is about homologies of structure among human arm, seal forelimb, bird wing, and bat wing. This image shows information of several components of arms and wings, such as hand, wrist, and fingers. So, one of the most significant pieces of information in this image is the structural difference between human arm with other limbs and wings. In conclusion, it is clear that human arm and seal limb have some structural similarities, whereas bird and bat wings have structural similarities. Done. See, I have not complicated my answer. So there you go, guys. This is how you do describe images in 2026. To sum it up, use your preparation time well to answer flawlessly. Answer within 30 or 35 seconds. Maintain a smooth rhythm and pronounce the words clearly. Make sure you create your very own structure and do not, and I can't stress it enough, guys, if you want to score 90 in your PTE speaking, do not use any template, especially those ones that look very easy, that is popular, and most importantly, that doesn't allow you to use your own content from the question itself. I want to end this video with this note that there is no alternative to practicing describe image regularly to perform well during your PTE test. Practice the question types that you find difficult, and during the exam, never lose your cool. Don't be nervous. So, what are you waiting for? Start practicing today so that you can ace your PTE describe image with ease in your PTE exam in 2026. If you need any help in preparation with your PTE test, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at 0188998291 in Bangladesh and 0456 446 963 in Australia. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one. Happy practicing, and I'll see you all soon.